And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Bubble. Alongside Brandon Spratt, as always, I'm Matt Harrington. Another week is in the books, and we crowned two state champions this weekend, of course, on the girls' side. In Class A, the World Warriors repeat as state champions. And then, of course, on the AA side, Gentry Academy winning their first state title in girls AA. And Brandon, when you look at the girls' state tournament, it's through. Great action this weekend, as always, and another exciting season in the books.
Yeah, I did the math. It was a 100 days season from the first night to the last night, so a nice even round number there. Great hockey really all throughout. I think especially the championship games were solid, but I think that semifinal Friday day was probably the most exciting of the tournament. Some great action, some great moments for Orono getting to their first state title game. We had another Andover Edina clash that was such an epic game. And then Gentry Minnetonka goes to overtime and the top seed gets knocked off. Gentry goes all the way and wins its first title. It was a really great weekend overall.
We'll get into more on that later, but now we are going to take a look at some boys section highlights and brackets. We're going to start over on the 6AA side in a big quarterfinal game between the St. Louis Park Orioles and the Academy of Holy Angels Stars. Let's take a look at those highlights.
Oh, scores! There it is, 1-0. The Orioles off to the quick start. Now to the right side, there's a shot through traffic. Off the post, oh my word. A glancing blow, if you will. Kazergod, now to the right wing side it goes with Amelise. Shot, scores! Oh, that's just strength all the way down low. Amelise just said, I'm gonna go straight up and hustle my way in. And he does, and it's 2-0 Orioles. At Middleton will ring the boards. Waiting on that was Max Ryder. There's a blocker pad save, rebound, score! Oh, that was a rebound that was battled for and fought off. Nifty job there. Plays that one up high for Lechner. Now Perron, snapper, that hits traffic in front, score! Oh, we're tied at 2. What a play of it. Bartfield plays that one around. Here comes McDonough, pulls that out of traffic up to Perron at the line. Score! Oh, he fires a wrist shot from up high. And it has been absolutely all Academy of Holy Angels Stars here in this second period after what would be, frankly, a flat first period. The check of Fuller, which forces the turnover. Here come the Orioles to the backhand. Pad save, rebound, score! They came to the net with authority. On that rush, it was Griffin Crone. And then following through on the rebound was Samuel Fuller. The final past couple minutes, they tie it. Now they've got the power play. Scores! Oh, don't look now, but this thing just totally turned. The Orioles would do straight, and it's 4-3 St. Louis Park. Cheeseman, oh, what a pad save made there. Ooh, that was Middleton. Middleton tracks the puck so well. Scores! Lechner, you can't track that. That's absolute laser to the corner over the glove. And we're tied at 4. Fuller, the shot's deflected, stays with it. Save, rebound. Oh, it's loose, it's loose! And they cannot find the back of the net as it's knocked off its postman. Airs Assad across the line, plays it to open real estate, walks in, shoots, pad save, rebound. Oh, 2 beauties in a row by the goaltender, Josh Middleton. Center gains the checkered, bounces that one in. Middleton pushes it ahead for Crone. Crone now, he finds his man, shot. Oh, and a blocker pad save. What a look there. Fine now. Shot, save, rebound. Scores! And the Stars bounce back from a 2-0 deficit, bury a rebound goal in overtime, and go on to win by a score of 5-4 in overtime.
are just excited. I mean, that's our first section win in 13 years, right? And so, which is crazy. Mario Bianchi's freshman year. So I texted Mario on the way here. I said, when was it? He said 2009, his freshman year. So that's our first one in 13 years. And they did. I think they got that extra jump. We started getting a little tired there, and that's when I called the timeout there with 3 minutes left, and then we. Then they make a coach look good, and we go right down and score on right after the timeout. So the emotional part of it, sometimes Zach and Troy got to just bump me a little bit and calm me down. I get a little too excited, and I had to take a break before he come in, I somehow held it through with the talk after the game, but I had to go to the locker room and kind of collect myself there for 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. No, it's super special and proud to be part of these guys, and they love each other. It's a family, and they work their tails off for us. I challenged him before the game. I said, "Are we pretenders? Are we contenders? Are we going to start contending? We're going to start winning games here in the sections." We finally did it today. So we're making some noise. We still got a long ways to go. We got a huge matchup Saturday, as we know. We'll be the heavily underdog, but we'll get these guys ready, and they're going to compete. I can promise you that.
The Academy of Holy Angels Stars pick up a massive win in Section 6AA. In fact, as you see there, it is their first win in the section playoffs since 2009. And, of course, a huge win for Pat Griswold, the head coach of the Stars. Obviously very emotional after this game. Brandon, this is one of those wins as a program that you look and say, this is on the rise. Of course, it's your alma mater as well. An exciting time for the Stars who pick up a massive win here.
It is, and this was such a back-and-forth game. As you see, St. Louis Park took that early lead. AHA with a big second period. They go back and forth in the third before Holy Angels eventually gets that win in overtime. It is such a massive stepping stone for the program, obviously with a great history, kind of late 90s through the 2000s, winning some state titles. There were some dark years in there, but things are rebounding. There's a lot of great young talent on this team, and in a loaded 6AA to make a semifinal is obviously a huge accomplishment.
It's impressive indeed, and of course they took on the Wayzata Trojans in the semifinal round. Let's look at those highlights.
Trying to work his way around Ferran. Works onto the far side half wall as it'll be played into the corner there. Works in front for a shot, they score! Chipper Cool worked his way into the slot, and White will cycle it onto the end board for the play gets pinned up there. Puck dribbling his way onto the near side. Ferran trying to get it tied up in front, they score! The loose puck just kept working as he cycles it into the circle. Now back for Huff. This Ferran will go off for holding as it pinballs in front, they score! A very quick power play goal. Face-off works out to the far side boards as the Stars carry into the neutral zone. Is Weckner able to work the puck through a check? Weckner scores! Henry Wecked off by the linesman. Here comes Ayers Assad with a shot. He scores! Lincoln Ayers Assad with the goal. They got the little bit of the assist from the linesman. Deficit. Puck works back to the point. Here's Bartfield. Bartfield scores! Jack Bartfield from the point! And the Stars have got a fourth zone. As Sauer cranks it back for Matson with a shot. He scores! Jake Matson answers. And a massive goal for Wayzata. And they're back up by 2.
Well, the top-seeded Wayzata Trojans take care of business in the semifinal round. They defeat the Academy of Holy Angels 5-3, but the Stars, Brandon, didn't look so good in the first period, but they made it a game, and credit to them for that.
They did. 4-0 after 2 periods. The shots were very lopsided. Wayzata's kind of going along and holding that steady lead, but then AHA with 3 goals inside of 3 minutes, and all of a sudden, game on. Of course, Wayzata answers shortly after that to make it 5-3, but I think this will be a great experience for the program, for Holy Angels. We mentioned all the young talent they have. They'll definitely be back in future years.
They sure will be. And, of course, the other 6AA semifinal took place between the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights and the Edina Hornets in a rematch of last year's section title game. Let's look at those highlights.
Picked off. A shot, he scores! Nevers took it off the stick, and now Edina's back the other way. It's Nevers and Flaherty. Nevers, a nice move. Cuts to the front, he scores! Jackson Nevers does it himself. The one goal Benilde scored in the first period. Here it is, there it is, he scores! It was Geertz.
The Edina Hornets back in the section championship game once again, 5-2 win over Benilde St. Margaret's. And Brandon, this is a Hornets team that started 0-3, and then they worked their way up to among the very best in Class AA. And here they are once again, no surprise, playing for a state championship trip.
Yeah, and BSM looking for a little bit of revenge factor, right? They met in this building last year. Of course, it was the section final last year with Edina getting the win. But Red Knights fall short once again. We set up that Edina-Wayzata rubber match, if you will. They split the regular season meetings. Now the third trip will be for a berth in state.
It will be for a berth in state. And let's look at that 6AA bracket now and find out how we got to this point in terms of Edina and Wayzata. As we mentioned, though, both playing for a section championship. And there you see the bracket. Wayzata, of course, took care of Hopkins, Holy Angels with the win, Benilde, and Edina as well. And we will play for the Wayzata. Edina will play for the Section 6AA Championship on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. at Bloomington Ice Garden. And you can catch that right here on the MNHockey.tv network. Looking forward to that one, Brandon. Who are you picking in that one to win?
Well, I picked Wayzata before the section began. I think I'll have to stick with it. But as we know, these teams are just so similar. It's, you expect a low-scoring game. Of course, you mentioned running time a little bit earlier. Wayzata did put Edina into running time just a week ago on the last game of the regular season to earn the number 1 seed. It earns them last change in this game, but really not much else. It's a neutral site game. Both teams are going to be given their all in this one. And late conference battle to get to state on, I think that's Wednesday night, the first.
Wednesday night is correct. I picked Edina before the section started. I'm going to stick with that pick. I've learned not to doubt the Hornets this time of year. So looking forward to that one on Wednesday night. We will move now to the 2AA highlights, and let's take a look at our first game.
First, I believe it is, or is that I can't even read the writing. Scores! Of course, I'm trying to find out when they play next. Inside position there was Larson breaking that one up, but they're looking to get the pretty feed there. Gary scores! Wow, that's a one-timer. Schultz left wing, Sheets score! Ooh, the old catch and release. He gets that. Players off the boards, cut off by Simpson. Scores! Oh, not so fast there. A turnover and the.
So our guys, we don't flinch, and to be honest with you, you have to get through that. If you're Shakopee, you have to play in that game a couple times to know how to get ready for it, and then you have to play it. So, but they got a nice team. They're going to stick around. Their goalie played great. 60 shots to their 10. I'll take that any day of the week.
Possession's such a great neutralizer, and you guys have been on the puck the past month so well. Can you talk about that?
Well, we work on it a lot. I know that. We work on puck possession and owning the puck and dictating the pace and tempo of the play. So I think our guys, for a high school level team, I haven't been doing this at high school very long, but I would tell you, people talked about my previous teams about how well they move the puck. This is the best puck moving team I've ever had in 6 years. I thought our first couple of years we might have been a little bit older because we are predominantly juniors and sophomores here, but we move the puck, and that's just a testament to these kids. They're so unselfish, and they're so into playing for each other. Actually, sometimes I got to remind them to shoot, but they're so unselfish, and they really, really, really like playing each other. If I could cryo freeze a team, this would be the team I'd cryo freeze, and I'd probably stick around for another 30 years.
Well, the Minnetonka Skippers got the number 2 seed in Section 2AA, but they may have looked like the 1 seed in this one. They were dominant in this game against the Shakopee Sabres, Brandon, and they are going to play for a trip to the state tournament. they haven't been there quite a while since they won in 2018 for a program of their stature. It's a long drought.
It sure is. I mean, we had several sets of eyes on this game within our group, and they were kind of telling us, yeah, Minnetonka looked really, really good. Shots on goal, very lopsided in this game. Obviously, Shakopee, they had to play on Thursday night, so a relatively quick turnaround for that Saturday noon game. They had a big emotional win over their conference rivals, Prairie Lake. It's another young team, kind of like Holy Angels, right? They win a playoff game for the first time in a lot of years. They get to this big stage, but Minnetonka just looking way too polished in this one. And like you said, looking for that first state tournament trip since they won the title back in 2018. But they have another upstart squad they're going to have to take on in the final.
We'll find out who they will take on in the final. Let's take a look at the highlights of the other semifinal between Chanhassen and Eden Prairie.
Yeah, I think since high school hockey, just the different pace and speed of the game has forced me to adjust to it, and these past 2 years, especially, have been a big adjustment, and pace has been good, and I've been adjusting to it. So it was heavy hitting at moments, not the whole game, and just a gritty game in general. I mean, everybody was giving their all. And
how's it feel?
Amazing.
Yeah, just basically more adrenaline, and I mean, all the boys were more hype, and we knew what was coming. We sort of went over what they had, and we were ready, but still, it's a section game, and this is Chan history for us, so it's a lot of nerves, a lot of adrenaline, so boys are going to have a fun night tonight, crash, and work towards Thursday. Just a group effort. I mean, there's no selfish hockey unless when we need it, sometimes by this guy. But I mean, we work together. I mean, you put your team first, and that's what I love about these guys. They're brothers, they die for one another, they put that body on the line. It's way better. Really? Way better. I mean, especially with the student sections, the atmosphere of it all. I mean, that's what you don't really notice as a kid. You just know there's a screaming and all the goals, but now it's a whole different game. Enjoying it. It's much better than I thought.
Well, Chanhassen got a little bit of a scare from the 5th-seeded Eden Prairie Eagles, but in the end, they survive in overtime. And Brandon, this is a program that's never been to the state tournament before in the Chanhassen Storm. We knew that Eden Prairie was going to give them a tough time, and they certainly did.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles were always going to be a very tough out in sections given the schedule they played. They already knocked off 4th-seeded Holy Family. That was on Friday night. They get to turn around the next day and play the afternoon game at Braemar. So it's a really quick turnaround. Chan played on Tuesday, but the Eagles gave them a great effort and by all accounts had a very good chance to win this hockey game. Sounded like just a classic back and forth, but credit to Sean Bloomfield and his Chan Storm. They've battled all season. They've had some doubters. They've had some believers. Well, they get a rematch with Minnetonka, who, of course, they beat in the regular season.
They did beat them 4-1 in the regular season. And we'll go now to an updated 2 AA brackets and how we got here to this section final between Chanhassen and Eden Prairie. Chanhassen and Minnetonka, I should say. And there you go on your screen, Shakopee and Prairie Lake. That was the quarterfinal. Again, all of those quarterfinals were on Tuesday except Holy Fam EP. So Eden Prairie, as Brandon mentioned, playing on short rest. And then Chanhassen and Minnetonka will be on Thursday night, 7 p.m. at Braemar Arena. And again, right here on MN Hockey TV. Brandon, your pick to win that section championship game is?
It's got to be Minnetonka. They'll get some revenge over Chan, whom they lost to in the regular season. But this is such an intriguing game. I mean, they've been 1-2 for a good chunk of the season in our ranking. So whoever wins this game will probably be the favorite to win the tournament in St. Paul. Who knows? Hard to say, but this is going to be a great game. Expect the Chan fans to be out at Braemar on Thursday night. They've never been to a section final before, so huge moment for that program. It's been a few years for Tonka as well. This should be a good one.
I'm going to go with the Skippers as well in that one, but I think we are certainly going to get a good game either way. Duluth East taking on Coon Rapids here in the Section 7 AA semifinal. And it is Coon Rapids that gets on the board first. Their leading scorer, Tyler Barsness, with a big one there. It's 1-0. We picked this one up in the second period. Duluth East finally ties things up, and that is a big goal there for the Greyhounds. It is now a 1-1 game. Not too long after that, check out this backhand, the save, a couple of big saves, and the third effort put home by Bowden Donovan. That makes it 2-1 in favor of the Greyhounds in the third period. Now, still a close game, but this one's going to pop out front for Noah Tang, who puts it home, and 3-1 lead for Duluth East as they have the 2-goal advantage in this one, and they go on to win this one 4-1 as they move on to the final. Well, it took a little bit for the Duluth East Greyhounds to get rolling in this one, but in the end, they do prevail 4 unanswered over Coon Rapids to win 4-1, and they are back in familiar territory in the section championship game. And Brandon, this was a Coon Rapids team that was pesky. This was their first time in the semifinals in over 20 years, and they gave Duluth East a test, but in the end, again, that experience for the Greyhounds paid off.
Yeah, and you mentioned Coon Rapids too. If you're noticing a theme, a lot of teams making section semis for the first time in a while, and it's good stories to see them here. But as you said, Duluth East, a little bit of a slow start, down a goal after the first, but they pumped 24 shots on net in that second period. They got a couple goals, added a couple more in the third, and kind of home ice for them. They're playing up at Amsoil Arena in Duluth, and that's where they'll get to host Andover in that section final. We'll see that in a moment, but that's going to be an electric one for sure. Cole Christian leading the way for the Hounds, and they're back in the section final.
They are indeed. Let's look at that 7 AA updated bracket as Brandon previewed. They are going to be taking on the Andover Huskies, and you see this is been pretty much the top seeds advancing. The only minor upset was Coon Rapids over Cloquet-Ascot Carleton. And who are you picking in this 7 AA final, Brandon?
I'm not going to bet against the top line for the Andover Huskies. Caden Casey, Gavin Thorson, and Cooper Conway. I think they're going to have enough juice to get it done against Duluth East in the section final, but it's certainly going to be tough. Obviously, Duluth East beat Andover early in the season as well, so that's another theme that we're getting into here is a lot of rematches from games earlier this season in the section finals. Teams are familiar with one another. Who are you going with?
I'm going to have to go with the Andover Huskies as well. I think just the defending state champ certainly will have something up their sleeve, but I do think it's going to be either a 1 or 2 goal game. So looking forward to that one. Again, that will be on Thursday night up at Amsoil Arena in Duluth.
Champlain Park taking on Mounds View on the power play early. Drew Bellison finds the back of the net to put the Rebels up by a goal. We take you now later into the first period, as well as Champlain Park looking to add to their lead. Nice pass across. That one just sneaks through the goaltender, and Trevor Aberwald is able to find the back of the net. 2-0 Rebels. Into the second period, though, it's now a power play for Mounds View. Conlon to the net, and it's going to trickle through. Landon Mazzocco getting credit for the goal to get the Mustangs on the board. But Champlain later would restore its 2-goal lead. Jordan Ron snipes that one in from the dot. 3-1 Champlain Park. Big pushback, though, by Mounds View. This in the final 10 seconds of the second period. And Sam Schulte is going to find the back of the net on the power play there on the one-timer as it changes directions. Mounds View within a goal heading to the third. And the Mustangs pushing for that equalizer. They get the puck to the net here. Nice backhand feed, and it's Laux who finds the back of the net. Jack Laux ties it up at 3 as the Mustangs come all the way back. However, Champlain Park not tied for long. About 40 seconds later, Jordan Ron getting his second on the nice feed across from Evan Williams. Champlain Park retakes the lead at 4-3, and they would strengthen their position late. Oh, that's a nifty feed there, and Aberwald able to get his second from Jordan Ron. Champlain Park leads at 5-3, and they would go on to win 5-4 with this late goal coming in the final 10 seconds from Johnny Conlon on the power play. But that would be the final. Champlain Park wins 5-4 over Mounds View.
The Champlain Park Rebels are having one of their best seasons in program history. They move on to the Section 5 AA semifinals with a tight win over the Mounds View Mustangs 5-4. Brandon, Champlain Park's only made the state tournament one time in program history. That was back in 1995. And they are just 2 wins away from getting back there. They've got a couple of great players. Evan Williams and Jordan Ron included in that 7 combined points. They looked impressive against the Mustangs, but not going to be easy to get back to the state tournament.
Yeah, this Champlin Park team's had a really good season. They've had some good wins. They're in a Final Four in 5AA that really anybody could win, if they bring their best hockey. Credit to Mounds View as well. We knew they were going to be a pesky out as the 6th seed, too. They had a nice season with some good wins. They got pretty much dominated in that opening period, but they fought back to tie it early in the 3rd. Champlin Park pulls away, and then a late goal by Mounds View makes it 5-4. But really good effort by the Mustangs. Champlin Park, as you said, back to the section semis as we continue that theme of teams that maybe not used to that spot getting there.
Let's take a look at the updated bracket on 5AA. And as you see, we're not quite to the section finals yet, but the semifinals will have Rogers taking on Centennial, and then Champlin Park, Maple Grove. 2 intriguing matchups there at Fogarty Arena on Tuesday night. Let's hear your picks for those, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Maple Grove and Rogers to meet in the section final up in Elk River on Thursday night. I'll go with the Crimson. It's going to be a really tight one, though. Maple Grove actually didn't beat Rogers in the regular season either. They had 1 tie and then a loss. I just think that Maple Grove has that experience, but I mean, anything could really happen in that. And don't count out Champlin Park or even Centennial. The Cougars have had some big losses lately, but they've also beaten a couple of these teams in the top 4 too. How about you?
Yep, I'm going to go with Rogers and Maple Grove as well. I'm going to pick Rogers, though, to get to state for the first time. They've been having, of course, a terrific season, so that's who I will go with.
Behind every world-class athlete, there's a team who takes extra care to support them. At Affinity Plus, we take extra care with all your banking goals, from checking accounts to credit cards. Our biggest victory? Helping you win in the ways that matter most. Affinity Plus.
Your college experience begins with your dream. Your time at St. Cloud State will uniquely be your own, but your journey will be guided by our community. Be you. Be bold. Be a Husky.
What if there was a place where everything was hockey?
Flying skate. Here comes Steves in on goal, all alone.
In Minnesota, there is.
Scores!
Well, this one was a nail-biter. We had almost a massive upset here in Class A, Section 2A, as the Orono Spartans survive an upset bid from the 8th-seeded Hutchinson Tigers. They win 2-1.
By Hutchinson. They're getting sticks on almost every shot. Orono does little scissors there, and they score! Orono, somebody tipped it in. I couldn't quite see who got that tip, but Orono gets the first goal of the game. Back and they score. Hutchinson puts it in. Looks like it was a shot and it was tipped in. And Hutchinson ties it up on the down low. Walker's on front. What a shot! What a save! Oh, what a save by Hunter Lead. Right out front. Lead made the save. Bickett puts it right in front. Backhand shot goes wide. Digging it out front. They're digging for it. They're trying to poke it in, but Lead is hugging the post. And that is no goal. And they're going to, I think Orono's on move. Tries to put it in front. Goes around the net. Goes all the way to the top of the circle. Back to the point. Ingebretson tries to send it down low, but no, it's, oh, it goes, deflects off of a defender and it goes right in front of the net. I believe Walker put it in. And that is the end of the game. And these Orono.
And Brandon, this was the second number 1 seed of the day to need OT to beat an 8 seed. And Orono, they were the pretty clear favorite in the section. This score is surprising. This is a wake-up call for the Spartans.
It is. They pumped 51 shots on goal on the Hutchinson net. So great performance by Hutch goaltender there. But yeah, definitely Orono. This section's up for grabs. Let's put it that way. They move now to the St. Louis Park Rec Center for the semifinals and the championship game. Orono, I think, was the clear favorites, but we always knew that teams really 2 through 9 or 10 could at least give a competitive game, and certainly Hutch did that on Saturday night.
They did indeed. So they move on to play Minneapolis. Let's look at another one of the quarterfinals. We will go to the Plymouth Ice Center for Providence Academy in Waconia.
Kind of tugged on, went wide of the net. Pinching in from the point is Ori. He'll throw it down low. Comes back to the middle ice. Back to Wayman. Wayman with a shot. He scores! Butler. Waconia will kick it out to center. Here's Simmons, a 2-on-1 developing. Simmons down the wing. Simmons fends it across for the shot. And score! We've got it. Kicked up. Comes free for Puchner. Puchner down the wing. Puchner banks off the boards, down the left side. Puchner with a shot, he scores! Wayman across, nasty pass, Owen with a shot, pad saved by Butler, rebound bounces around in the slot. Wayman with a shot, he scores! Hilson was to go for a tip, and they got the redirect, but goes over the top of the net, got a little bit too much. Back up for another wrist shot, they score! McGaney with the wrist shot! And Providence retakes the lead. Damberg knocked down behind the goal in the corner. Reek pinches in from the point. He'll throw it towards the goal. He scores! Back out to center. Picked up one-on-one. Here's Drew Puchner with a shot. Missed on the short side. Rebound for Break. He scores! Ice surface. Captain at the point again. Poke check free. Coming down the wing is Nelson. He's got Puchner with him. Nelson with a shot. He scores! Down. On the game. It's over to Varner. Stolen away. Fossick with a save. Save there by Beast. And that's a big stop there by Puchner. Back out to Wayman. Stolen away from Wayman by Puchner. Puchner, the freshman, down the wing. Empty net. He'll shoot. He scores! Kicked into the corner, 7 seconds remaining. Flip back out to center. Wayman trying to play it in the neutral zone. He's tied up. Flip back out into the Providence end. And
Well, here we go. We've got a major upset alert as 7th-seeded Waconia beats number 2 seed Providence Academy by a score of 6-3. And Brandon, when you look at the records, maybe not quite the massive upset, but this is, in terms of seeding, this was a big one, and Waconia looked really strong in this one, especially in period number 2.
Yeah, both of these teams came into this matchup with 14 wins on the season. Waconia having to come through a play-in game, basically, to get to the quarterfinals. But what a year that they've had under second-year head coach Anthony Reynolds. He took them from 5 wins a year ago. They play a tough schedule in the Metro West. Only went 3-8 in that conference, but I think that really prepared them for a game like this. And congratulations to Waconia. They have a really good young team as well, and they're moving on to the semifinals.
They are indeed. Let's look at that updated bracket here in the 2AA boys section. And Waconia, as you see there, they will advance to take on Delano. That's a 3 seed, Brandon, that hasn't maybe been having the year that they are used to, kind of around that 500 mark as well. And then Orono will take on Minneapolis. Let's get your thoughts on who you've got coming out of the section and who advances to the section title game.
It's tough. I mean, this is a sneaky, really good section if you're looking for some games to head out to this week. Here locally at the Rec Center, a great venue for these sort of neutral site games. It's really tough. Minneapolis has actually played some really, really good hockey. I would not be surprised to see them knock off Orono. I think I will have to go with the Spartans to get to the section final. I wouldn't be surprised to see Waconia knock off Delano either, but probably we'll go with the Tigers. So we get another Orono-Delano final. I'll go with the Spartans.
I think I'm going to have to follow you there. But like you mentioned, Minneapolis is a team that's been really hot lately. And, of course, they not only beat Southwest Christian Richfield, they battered them 8-0 the final there. So they move on and definitely will be a tough out for the Orono Spartans. And then Delano, Waconia, but I'm going to go with Orono and Delano to advance and Orono as well. But again, really any of these 4 teams could win, but certainly Orono the heavy favorite. But who knows after Hutchinson gave them a battle for sure. But looking forward to seeing what we get. And, of course, the section semifinals and final will be streaming right here on mnhockey.tv. Well, earlier today was the Miss Hockey Banquet, which of course also included the Senior Goaltender of the Year in girls hockey. And this year's winner for Senior Goaltender of the Year is Edina's Uma Cornier, who of course had an incredible career. We had the chance to catch up with Uma after her big win. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. This whole experience feels surreal, and I can't believe it.
Slightly different shade of green than you're used to.
I know. I like it though. It's a good shade. I got to switch to orange, so you got to get used to new colors. I mean, it's unbelievable that I was even a finalist for this incredible award. There are so many talented people in this incredible state, and I'm just honored to be a part of it, and even more honored to have. Yeah, I'm so incredibly thankful that those women paved the way for us. I remember my 8th grade year, it was the 25th anniversary of girls high school hockey, and to me, a middle schooler, I was blown away that girls high school hockey had only been around 25 years. And when it started, there were only a few teams, and now to see what it's grown into, it's incredible.
Of course, we also had the Miss Hockey Award winner announced to the most outstanding senior in girls high school hockey this year, and the winner is Andover's Ella Berger. She had a terrific season with 41 goals for the Huskies, who ultimately finished in 2nd place in Class AA this year. Let's hear from the new Miss Hockey winner, Ella Berger.
It feels great. I mean, my teammates and coaches really helped me to get here, so I can't thank them enough.
When you see
Yeah, I mean, I think Miss Hockey and just the game of hockey and girls has really grown, and it's not boys hockey skates anymore. It's actually been taken pretty seriously, so it's grown a lot.
You're the 2nd Miss Hockey winner in program history after Peyton Hemp a couple years ago. How much did sort of following her example and getting to be an underclassman and she was leading this team, how much did her example kind of spur you on?
Yeah, I mean, she was definitely a big part of it. She was my neighbor, and she would pick me up every day to practice. And she had awesome character. She was a great person, great work ethic, and she really helped me to just become a better player, and she really showed me what hard work was.
That next chapter.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good girls playing with me that are going to go to St. Thomas, and I'm just so excited, and I think they're going to have a great future, so I'm excited to go.
Make sure to check out the Overtime podcast here as part of the MN Hockey TV network with coverage of all things high school hockey, professional hockey, and, of course, Minnesota Pro Sports. Check us out at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and 11 other podcast hosting networks.
Also follow us on social media at mnhockey.tv, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Go there for the latest news and also section coverage as we wrap up the boys' season here in the next couple of weeks.